Cat's a great player, but he just doesn't fit with this team. He fit better with Minnesota, which is, I don't think is a crazy thing to say. They had a defensive team that was better equipped to hide some of his deficiencies. You have a DPOY winner over there. You have Anthony Edwards over there. You have Jaden McDaniels over there. They have a team that's defensive minded. The Knicks have a couple of defensive players and then a bunch of guys who really want to score.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Cat doesn't fit over there. If I'm the Knicks, I'm blowing it up. I've been saying get rid of Thibs.
You're blowing it up.
I'm blowing it up.
That boy is prophetic. They don't talk about it. I get it. But I'm going to talk about it because he called it. You saw the timestamp on that. Moments later, the Knicks fired Thibs.
Yeah.
Bro, look at the timestamp. The receipts are here. So essentially an hour later, they fired him. Excuse me, Ante Stradamus, would you like to ISOCAM and tell us how you knew this was coming?
Oh, man. I mean, here's the thing. The NBA is a business, man. It's one of those places where, what have you done for me lately? And I told everybody. I told Travis.
You did.
I told Casey. I told Adam. I sat down with all three of them over the last 2 weeks and said, have the Knicks really forced anybody to not play their game yet? And they had it. And guess what? When they ran it to the Pacers, they didn't do it again. And guess what? Leon Rose was sitting in his office and he said, we beat the Celtics because they were not healthy.
Check.
We beat the Pistons because they were young.
Facts.
But the moment we ran into a team who's has less talent than we do.
True.
But has a better coach than we do.
Big facts.
We lost. Maybe the coach is the problem.
Wow.
And so he ended up doing what he needed to do and firing Thibs and getting him out of New York. Was I surprised? Maybe a little bit.
Probably a little.
But
That they actually did it.
Right. But am I, feeling kind of rejoicing right now, just joyous?
Yeah.
Because I like being right. I always tell you I'm ready.
Yeah, no kidding. We know. Humble, too. The thing is, I think it was a wrong decision to make, but they already made it, so what the hell do I care, right?
Yeah.
Now it's, what do you do next? And, bro, everything you see are all these big, sexy names. Some of them have already come out and said, I don't want that job. Dan Hurley now publicly has said, yeah, no, I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I just did this last summer. We're good.
Wow.
He already put a kaput to that. Rick Pitino, publicly, I'm cool. I don't want the job. Stop calling me. I know I'm here in New York. I know I turn around St. John's. I ain't going to the Knicks. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
Allegedly, the Knicks picked up the phone. Hello? Yeah. We're calling about Ime. Click, hang up. Nope. Rockets said, no, the hell you ain't. Now, I'm reading a lot of things where it's rumor mill.
Yeah.
But it's like, can the Knicks put together a trade package with the Heat for Eric Spoelstra? I mean,
When's the last time we seen the head coach
That's
get
what I'm
traded?
saying. Like,
That's crazy.
it's so arrogant New York of, we can get anyone we want. No, the hell you can't. Some of these guys are like, no, I'm good. Do you think it'll be a big name? Like another one, Jay Wright's being floated out there. Do you sort of see that happening? I actually think they can have their cake and eat it too, in a sense of, I think Mike Malone is a big name. That's a champion.
Yeah.
I think Mike Malone is someone that makes a lot of sense. He doesn't have a job right now. He's a native New Yorker. He was an assistant coach for the Knicks some years back. So that kind of makes sense from a basketball standpoint, but is that sexy enough for New York? I think in basketball circles, Mike Malone is a big name.
Yeah, I mean, I think going back, I'm looking at it now. You're looking at the Knicks' former head coaches, and they were all sexy names, at least at the time, you know what I mean? You had David Fizdale, had Jeff Hornacek, Kurt Rambis, Derek Fisher, Mike Woodson, Mike D'Antoni, Isaiah Thomas, Larry Brown, you know what I'm saying?
And a lot of those dudes were not good coaches, by the way.
No, but they were the big names, they were the sexy names at the time, you know what I'm saying? So I think we are going to get a big name here. I think it might even come back to somebody that won Coach of the Year in the past, because I think everyone knows at this point, since 2018, between 2018 and 2023, every single winner of the Coach of the Year award in the NBA has gotten canned at this point.
It's a curse.
So, but going back to one of those coaches, this could be a Monty Williams kind of situation.
They might be a big enough name.
I know he's over there. We're talking about trades, you know what I'm saying? Like, this might be a situation where they say, okay, we like what you did.
Right.
In Detroit.
Yeah.
Maybe you could come help us out, you know what I mean? And we get you some money, get you right, and get you with some talent, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the Pistons don't have the talent just yet to be a contender. We say, hey, man, we love how you brought that ceiling up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that something that they try to do?
I don't think so. I think they're, I don't know the rumors. We're not in New York. We're in Boston, thank God. But I have to imagine there's got to be something there with Jay Wright, right?
Yeah,
like
maybe.
If I'm putting myself in Jay Wright's shoes.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you be interested in that job? Half of the guys you coached in college are already on the roster.
Right.
So that check.
Yeah.
And let's talk about, not this kind of check, but the check. You're going to get paid.
Yeah.
It's New York. It kind of makes sense. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he got out of the college game because of stress and was causing health issues.
Yeah.
You're not
then
gonna.
He saw the foresight within the AL.
Hey, yo, probably. Mm-hmm. Hey, yo, I got news for you. You're not gonna be less stressed out coaching the Knicks, especially for the money they would pay you with and the expectations you walk into. This is some of the reason why I said firing Thibs was a mistake. Whenever you get rid of anyone in any industry, you better have an idea of what you want to do next.
Yeah.
You don't just get rid of someone. Right now, it looks like the Knicks are kind of scrambling a little bit. That's not good. Thibs, say what you want. And we made fun of him on this show for running players into the ground. I used to say the Knicks, by the end of the regular season, are put together with duct tape and bubble gum, right? Oh, no, those are facts.
Yeah.
And finally, they were healthy and everything. They knocked out the Celtics. Everything looked like it was their time.
Yeah.
And they came up short against the Pacers, to your point, because they were outcoached. They were outplayed, but they were outmaneuvered.
They were outcoached.
So, okay, fine, I get it. Kind of knee-jerkish, maybe. Let's get this guy out of here. What's next?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't downgrade from Thibs. And some of these names we're throwing out feels like it could be.
Yeah, it was one of those things when I got off air with Adam and I saw that tweet come through from Shams. Yeah. Immediately I was like, well, they must know, right? They must know who they
That's what I'm saying.
Next.
Yes.
But it doesn't seem like, obviously after hearing they called the Rockets and they were like, no, they
allegedly.
Allegedly, whatever, reportedly.
Yeah.
That's what what happened.
Right.
It seemed like they were ready to, kind of name somebody within the, coming weeks or whatever.
Right.
Now it does seem like they're kind of in panic mode. If they are in panic mode, or even if they're not, I'm going to give them a more serious candidate of somebody who's not coaching a team right now, because Monty Williams would kind of be like a pipe dream of a situation. It would be Jeff Van Gundy. He's a former Knicks coach.
It makes sense.
And he's sitting on the Clippers bench right now. They also impressed people with their ceiling and how much defensively they were such a
big name guy.
Right.
Been there, done that.
Already have a team that's kind of defensive minded. You got to get Rick Brunson out of there too, which I'm assuming, will happen.
Well, Van Gundy's coach there. He just kind of knows so he's on this list. You know, it all comes back to gambling. Keep me honest on time, because I get lost and stuff. I'll take you in the woods if you let me.
Yes.
Next coach odds. Favorite in the clubhouse, Mike Malone. Johnny Bryant next, Jay Wright, Mike Budenholzer. We didn't bring him up. Big name.
Yeah, but
Rick Brunson. Monty Williams, to your credit. Taylor Jenkins on this list. John Calipari. How about that? Dan Hurley. So these are the pipe dreams. Jeff Van Gundy is on there. He's a long shot. Mike Malone feels like Okay, so let's go with Malone till we go to break here.
Okay.
If it's Malone, is he an upgrade over Thibs?
Yeah, 100%.
No hezzy on that?
No.
Okay.
100%.
Then I think that's the guy.
It should be the
I think that's a fair question. I think Thibs would feel differently. He doesn't have a championship.
Right. It should be the guy, but I do want to say, before we move on to the break, New York. It's been my brother wasn't born the last time y'all went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And he's a grown man. A grown man. Working, making his money, doing all his other stuff.
Hair on his chin and everything.
He's never seen the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Final until this year. I was 4, 3,
2, 1.
years old when the last time the Knicks made it to the East Conference Final, and then you finally get somebody who gets you there and you fire him. What a shame.
Y'all don't
shame
know how
on
to
y'all.
act. He's the one that got away. Y'all should have acted right when you had him. Now Thibs gonna go on, live happily ever after,
And making bread.
Making what?
30.
And y'all gonna be miserable. You watch.